Good morning to all listeners on Gulf Cairo FM on all various frequencies. Those of you via Facebook Live listening and viewing, thank you for joining us and welcome. And we are here live on the Kulibistri Beach for World Environment Day, the official opening ceremony. Right, and the World Environment Day's theme 2024 is land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. So we have a packed schedule this morning. To commence, we will see the arrival of the Honorable Prime Minister as well as the arrival of Her Excellency the President of Dominica. They will both be accompanied by their spouses. We continue with the national anthem, and that will be led by Mr. Pius John Baptist. Father Joseph Hung Tran will lead us in prayer, and then we'll have a welcome by the Honorable Chesma Paul, the parliamentary representative for the Salisbury constituency. We'll continue with an overview of coastal reforestation for Kulibistri by the Honorable Darren Lloyd. There'll be a cultural performance by the Troubadour Flamboyant dancers, and solidarity messages from Kiefer Jackson, Chief of Staff of PISLM, and Justine Schoen, Head of UNDP Dominica Office, followed by brief remarks by the Honorable Cozier Frederick, for the Minister for Environment, and spoken words by Amika Cognet, and an address also by the Honorable Prime Minister. And there will be a potted plant presentation to Her Excellency the President of Dominica, and a presentation as well to the Honorable Prime Minister. The vote of thanks will be issued by Mr. Edgar Hunter, and the Master of Ceremony for today's proceedings will be Mr. Lucian Blackmore, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Environment. And just a little bit about World Environment Day. Like we said, the theme for World Environment Day is land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. And according to a UN convention to combat desertification, up to 40% of the planet's land is degraded, directly affecting half of the world's population. So World Environment Day will focus on creating awareness about the importance of sustainable approaches and ensuring that we do our bit in saving nature. And there's so much that we can do to preserve nature, simple as sorting at the source in terms of garbage at home, separating the cans and the bottles from the regular waste, proper dumping habits, so many things that we can do on our own at our homes. But here we are today for the official opening ceremony of World Environment Day. All right, so we urge you to share the live, share with your friends, your colleagues. Stay tuned with us as we, share some very pertinent information. In the audience, we see the Honorable Speaker of the House. We also see at the head table the Honorable Darren Lloyd, the manager for the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Mr. Florian Mitchell is here. I see also the parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Mr. Darren Lloyd, present as well, and a number of staff members from the PISLM, as well as from the Ministry of the Environment. Honorable Darren Pinard is seated as well. We see some members of the Chinese delegate, the Chinese embassy, the ambassador is seated, the Cuban ambassador is also seated. Students of the Kulibistri Primary School are also present, as well as students of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, and 4-H club members from around the various communities are also here. So it promises to be a very informative session this morning. It's definitely an event that should, as I should say, pertinent to us observing World Environment Day. And I would say it shouldn't be just for one day. It should be a continuous thing. It should be part of our daily lives in terms of preserving our environment. And we start at home and we continue throughout our communities, around the island, in the region, and internationally. And World Environment Day is observed internationally in June. All right, and the focus is creating awareness about the importance of sustainable approaches and ensuring that we do our bit in saving nature. Proceedings are set to commence momentarily. We just saw the arrival here of the Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, and we have the media houses present as well. But again, you're tuned into Kyrie FM, the genuine sound of Dominica, and Vanessa Bruno. And today, my cameraman technician is Yipman Bruno. So there is, quite a lot to be discussed today. We will be receiving quite a lot of information, but there's also the World Environment Conference, and this is an international summit providing critical issue-based interaction and discussion, cutting-edge technologies and solutions, which showcase focusing on the environment protection, climate change, carbon emissions, saving the energy and natural resources. All right, so this expo is set to take place, let's see, sometime this year, and some of the major participants are some well-known names around the world in terms of, preservation of our environment. All right. And here are some simple ways that we World Environment Day think about recycling, using reusable bag, reducing water, minimizing our energy usage, planting trees. So even in our own small communities, we can look at planting a tree. Say you have a farm, you have a holding. Think about planting a tree, and in the long run, it can impact and it can benefit. It can benefit you as an individual as well as the environment. So again, the ways that we can celebrate Environment Day is by recycling, using reusable bags. When you go to the grocery store, try to use the shopping bags, reusable bags, as opposed to the plastic bags. And if you have excess of the plastic bags, put them to use. Do not just dump them. I mean, we do use plastic bags for garbage disposal. You can reuse those bags for garbage disposal as well. All right. And so some information that we can share with you with regards to Environment Day. Almost 60% of all species live in the soil, making land the planet's most biodiverse habitat. Okay, and dry lands generate roughly about 44% of global crops and are the source of feed for half of the world's livestock, and they support the lives and livelihoods of more than 2 billion people. So just a bit of fun facts here for you. All right, but Environment Day 2024, the summit, will be hosted by Saudi Arabia, and the summit will focus on land restoration, highlighting the urgent need to heal the Earth's wounded ecosystems and combat desertification and drought. And the World Environment Day, the campaign also focuses on land restoration, like we said, which is the theme, desertification and the drought resilience. And the slogan for this year, our land, our future, we are #Generation Restoration. So again, if you're just joining, welcome aboard. We are here live at Coolibah Street, right on the beach, right along the highway, as we observe World Environment Day. This is the opening ceremony. And our MC for today, our Master of Ceremony, is Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Environment. I see him set at the podium. So we are going to go now momentarily to the podium to commence the official proceedings. All right. So if you're just joining, welcome aboard. Thank you for staying with us. Please share the live, share the information, turn up your volumes as we share some really pertinent information this morning.
Let's all stand to welcome Her Excellency, the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. seated. Your Excellency Silvani Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor, Public Sector Reform, Social and Partnership, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business Development, with specific responsibility for entrepreneurship and small business development, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly. Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister for Environment, Rural Modernization, Carinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment. Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, Carinago Upliftment, with specific responsibility for constituency empowerment. Other honorable members of Cabinet, other honorable members of Parliament, Sean, head of the UMDP Dominican office, Ms. Kiefer, Chief of Staff of BSLM, Mr. Edgar Hunter, Senior Technical Advisor, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, Empowerment, Father Joseph Hong Chuan, Parish Priest of St. Joseph, representing Father Coran Shillingford, the Parish Priest of Kulubistri. Ladies and gentlemen, a very hearty good morning to everyone. I now ask that we all stand as we ask Father Hong Chuan to lead us.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Dear brothers and sisters, over the course of human history, trees appear both in myth and sacred stories. Scriptures records many types of trees: oaks of righteousness, cedars of Lebanon, almond and fig and olive trees, a tree of life and a tree of knowledge, the trees at Mamre where God visited Abraham. Trees are a living metaphor for our own spiritual journeys, from seed to sapling to towering giants, rooted on the earth and reaching to the sky. They serve as a home to many numbers of earthly creatures and microsystems. Indeed, trees inspire, delight, and serve as invaluable reminders of the order of things. Trees engage our imaginations and offer joy to our spirits. We are just now discovering the enormous potential trees hold in healing the climate catastrophe. Scientists agree, reforestation, the planting of trees, is a critical climate change solution. So now let us pray. God of wonder, as we gather together this morning to bless the earth and celebrate the potential of the tree before us, we pray that it may serve as a living witness to our commitment to heal our common home through long-lasting, bold changes. Grant us the courage to continue to take this stand for the sake of the goodness of your creation and the inspiration and delight it provides us. Creator Spirit, bless this soil and nutrient it holds. May the life teeming within it spring forth. We honor your cyclical creation, O God. We pray for the humility to revere and respect this soil for the nourishment it provides. We ask this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please have a seat.
Thank you very much, Father. We're here today to partake in the official opening ceremony for the observance of World Environment Day. Today is June 5th, and traditionally every year on that date, June 5th, the entire world brings into focus our attention to the matter of the environment. We're here today as well to prove to the entire world that the environment is indeed our land and our future, and more importantly, we consider it part of our heritage. And to lead us, our activity today will be actually seeking to reforestate the entire western coast, but we will begin with Kulibistri, since Kulibistri was one of the coastal communities hardest hit, first by Tropical Storm Erika, and afterwards, 2 years later, Hurricane Maria. It's on that note that I happily call to the forum the parliamentary representative for the Salisbury constituency to give us the welcome, Honorable Jeff McCall.
Your Excellency Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton, Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development with specific responsibilities for entrepreneurship and small business development, and a representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister for Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, other honorable members of Cabinet, other honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, other permanent secretaries, Mr. Justin Schoen, Head of UNDP Dominica Office, Mr. Kiefer Jackson, Chief of Staff, PISLM, Mr. Edgar Hunter, Senior Technical Advisor, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Father Joseph Hong Tram, Parish Priest, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great honor to address you today as the parliamentary representative for Kulibistri as we come together to celebrate World Environmental Day. As we gather here along the Kulibistri River, the beach and the highway, a place known both for the beauty and fury of nature. In 2017, Hurricane Maria left an indelible mark on our beloved Kulibistri. The scars of that devastation are still visible, and the memories remain fresh in our minds. Today, however, we embark on a journey of healing and renewal. Our primary activity today is reforestation, a vital step in restoring the lush greenery that once graced these riverbanks. As we plant trees along the Kulibistri River and the beach, we are not just planting in the ground, but we are sowing seeds of hope, resilience, and a sustainable future. We must remember that our actions today echo far beyond this moment. Reforestation is not merely an act of planting trees. It is a commitment to protect our environment, to safeguard our communities, and to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Each tree that we plant today helps to secure lives and property, especially as we face the hurricane season. I urge each and every one of you to take this commitment seriously. Let us not limit our efforts to today alone. Instead, let us actively engage in reforestation and environmental conservation as a continual practice. Avoiding deforestation and nurturing our environment is a responsibility we all share. Together, we can create a resilient and vibrant environment that will not only withstand future storms, but also strive for generations to come. Let us make today a starting point for sustained environmental stewardship. Thank you for your dedication and partnership, and let's make a lasting difference, one tree at a time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for doing us the honor, Honorable Paul. On that note, I wish to call to the fore to give the overview of the Coastal Reforestation Initiative, Honorable Darren Paul. Honorable Lloyd. Boy, I am marrying people this morning.
You said Darren Paul, and Honorable Paul started smiling. Your Excellency Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship, Small Business Development, and specific responsibilities for entrepreneurship and small business development, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister of Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Irvin McIntyre, Minister of Finance, other honorable members of Cabinet, Honorable Jesma Paul, I would say Jesma Lloyd, Honorable Jesma Paul Victor, Leader of the Opposition and Parliamentary Representative for the Salisbury constituency, other honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps. I see the Ambassador of Cuba, Ambassador of People's Republic of China, and the Ambassador of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela with us today. Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, other Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Justin Schoen, Head of UNDP Office in Dominica, Ms. Kiefer Jackson, Chief of Staff, PISLM, Mr. Edgar Hunter, Senior Technical Advisor, Ministry of Environment, Father Joseph Hung Tran, Parish Priest, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, also the students of Cooley Bistri Primary School, Caleb John Laura Primary, Isaiah Thomas Secondary, and all the other students, a pleasant good day. So this year, World Environment Day focuses on land restoration, halting desertification, and building drought resilience. Observed annually, this is a powerful reminder of our collective effort as far as taking care of the environment is concerned. In this regard, our ministry, the Ministry of Environment, is conducting a reforestation activity right here in the community of Cooley Bistri. We understand that the community of Cooley Bistri was severely affected by natural disasters in the past. 2015, Tropical Storm Erica completely devastated the Cooley Bistri community, and then 2017, we had the ravages of Hurricane Maria affecting this community. So we recognize that this is an urgent need and a collective effort, as I mentioned, for every one of us to play our parts in planting trees to minimize the impacts of natural disaster and climate change. So our activity later in the program focuses on re-establishing buffer zones along critical riverbanks of the nearby river, the river behind me. These areas are being flooded, and we can see the gradual eroding after natural weather systems, as I described, what happened in Hurricane Maria and Tropical Storm Erica. The work undertaken here today will assist in reducing coastal degradation of the seashore as a mitigation strategy against climate change. So as a member of Cabinet with special responsibility for constituency empowerment, it would be remiss of me to not be here today. And today is especially significant. A day like this allows all of us to show political will and take action and have everyone involved in decisive actions towards the protection of the environment. So it is imperative to recognize the critical importance of land restoration and ultimately environmental protection. It is integral to our nation's prosperity, security, and well-being. Land restoration rejuvenates ecosystems that have been degraded by human activities and natural disasters. It conserves water resources, promotes biodiversity, which is all vital for our food security, medicine, and maintaining ecological balance. So prioritizing land restoration is not just a moral imperative, it is a strategic investment in the resilience and prosperity of our great nation. The reforestation activity of the Kulibishri coastal and riparian forest will occur in two different phases. The first phase includes the riparian and highway restoration. The species will include coconut, galba, sea grape, almonds, noni, fat pork. And then phase two focuses on strengthening the primary and secondary coastal buffer and riparian restoration. Coastal strengthening species for primary buffer will include only coconuts, and secondary buffer will include almonds, sea grapes, galba, flamboyant, cashews, and fat pork. Species for riparian restoration in this phase will consist of riverside grapes and mangoes. So planting of agroforestry species will not only serve as a mitigation strategy against climate change, it will also strengthen the ecosystem in the area. Additionally, it will add value to biodiversity protection by providing food and habitat for residential and mitigation fauna. The natural landscape will be enhanced with improved soil quality, improved water conditions for aquatic life, and enhanced surroundings for recreational use. So, as we see, this is going to have a plethora of benefits, but not just for our strategic goal, but it's also going to beautify the area in an overall manner. World Environment Day indeed serves as a reminder that the well-being of our island is in our hands, and also, as I mentioned before, the onus is on us to ensure that we protect our island. It emphasizes the importance of collective action to address pressing environmental challenges such as climate change, deforestation, pollution, and loss of biodiversity. We must act now to protect and restore our ecosystems, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and promote sustainable practices in every aspect of our lives. By participating here today in World Environment Day 2024, we have an opportunity to contribute to a more sustainable and resilient future. Thank you very much. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lloyd. And I wasn't the one to hold responsible for you. I wanted to exchange your name right now. Anyway, but that's a very nice, pleasant moment this morning to see we can have this level of camaraderie at this level. And I could see that beaming smile on Mrs. Paul's face when Honorable Lloyd said what he said. At that moment, we really want to ensure we have a bit of entertainment. So I'll call on the Jubilant Flamboyant dancers to do a small cultural performance. Flamboyant dancers. This is why we proudly say our tradition and our culture in Dominica can never come to extinction when you see the talent of such young people. Let's give them a very round of applause. We are living in an era today where the entire global ecosystems are under severe threat. I say so because we have a situation where over 40% of our land on the planet Earth today are threatened by one way or the other by land degradation. We have a situation where we have the number and the intensity of droughts globally have increased over 29%. So that's why we in Dominica have reasons for really celebrating. And it really signifies the importance of we having a global partnership in this fight against climate change and extreme weather events. And for that reason, it is my distinguished pleasure and privilege to have with us the global local partners, I like to refer to them. And we will have solidarity messages from both the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management that we call PISLM. And of course, you can see the distinguished presence of Mr. Justin Sean, who by now I think Minister is a Dominican by citizenship. I said that because I recall the first conversation Justin and I have. So it's for me a pleasure to have solidarity messages this morning, and I will call to the podium Ms. Kiefer Jackson, the Chief of Mission of PISLM. Ms. Jackson.
Her Excellency Sylvanie Burnett, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burnett, Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business Development, with specific responsibility for entrepreneurship and small business development, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Cozier Frederick, Minister of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Honorable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, with specific responsibility for constituency, other honorable members of Cabinet, Honorable Jasma Paul Victor, not making that mistake again, Leader of Opposition and Parliamentary Representative of Silvestri constituency, and other honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, other permanent secretaries, Mr. Justin Sean, Head of UNDP Dominica Office, Mr. Edgar Hunter, Senior Technical Advisor, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Father Joseph Hong Tran, Parish Priest, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed an honor to be here in the beautiful Commonwealth of Dominica, representing our Executive Director, Mr. Calvin James, who could not be here but sends his regards. Today, after 18 years, the theme of World Environment Day is squarely focused on critical issues of land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. That is 18 years, longer than some of our attendees here. These challenges, intensified by climate change, threaten the very fabric of our communities and the sustainability of our natural resources. However, through innovative strategies and committed efforts, we as a region can and are transforming these threats into opportunities for growth, resilience, and sustainable development. One shining example of this transformation is the story of the Commonwealth of Dominica, a nation that has shown remarkable resilience and commitment for rebuilding stronger. PISLM is grateful to be a part of the process of rebuilding in partnership with the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, and Kalinago Upliftment, through the erudite leadership of Honorable Minister Kozier Frederick. Through our UNEP GEF project titled Strengthening Resilience of Agricultural Lands and Forests in Dominica in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, multiple milestone achievements were met, including, but not limited to, the development of sensory data to identify denuded forest areas following Hurricane Maria, the reforestation of over 100 acres of denuded forests, and in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, 40 farms were to receive climate smart agriculture assessment and implementation, with both the extension officers and farmers being trained in climate smart agricultural certification. In the face of the devastation of Hurricane Maria, Dominica set forth an ambitious goal to become the world's first climate resilient nation by 2030, which I think is extremely commendable and deserves a round of applause. This vision was not merely a response to immediate disaster of Hurricane Maria, but a long-term commitment to sustainability and resilience. Central to the achievement of this goal has been a focus on sustainable land management projects, which address land restoration, land degradation, and enhancing drought resilience. The GEF-funded Sustainable Land Management Project in Dominica has been pivotal to this process in several ways. I would just like to highlight a few here. We have been able to, through this project, restore land by reforesting the Colibistri, Batali, and La Plaine watersheds, during which time the capacity of the Forestry Division was increased by carrying out monitoring activities to the watershed, which would outlive the life of this project. Moreover, the project collected data from 5 parishes to develop 5 land use maps, which were handed over to the Ministry of Environment to bolster their decision-making capacity. Furthermore, the project has been instrumental in combating desertification and land derogation. By implementing sustainable agricultural practices through agroforestry, the use of crop covers, the project has prevented soil erosion, maintain soil fertility, and ensure that the land remains productive even in the face of climate change conditions. Our collaboration in policy formation since 2015 and the success of various initiatives in Dominica since 2018 is a testament to the power of collective action and partnership and the importance of integrating sustainable processes and practices into national development strategies. The collaboration between the government, local communities, international partners, and various stakeholders has been crucial in driving these efforts forward. This holistic approach ensures that the benefit of land restoration, combating desertification, and enhancing drought resilience are felt across all sectors of society. As Dominica continues on its journey towards becoming a climate resilient nation, the lessons learned and the successes achieved provide a valuable blueprint for other countries facing similar challenges. In closing, as a region, we draw inspiration from Dominica's example, and we should commit ourselves to the principles of sustainable land management, recognizing that the health of our land is intrinsically linked to the health of our people and the health of our planet. Together, we can restore our lands, combat desertification and land degradation, and build resilient communities that are prepared to face the challenges of tomorrow. As PISLM representatives standing here, we present ourselves and all our resources to the disposal of the Commonwealth of Dominica and the rest of the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson. To continue with the solidarity message, it's my pleasure to call to the podium at this point Mr. Justin Sean, the head of the UNDP Dominica office. Justin. Thank you and good morning. Very good. Your Excellency, Sovereign Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. Honourable Darren Pinnard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, with specific responsibilities for entrepreneurship and small business development, and representative of the Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly. Honourable Kosier Frederick, Minister of Environment, Rural Modernisation and Kalinago Upliftment. Honourable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernisation and Kalinago Upliftment, with specific responsibilities for constituency. Other Honourable Members of Cabinet and Ministers. Honourable Jesma Paul Victor, Leader of the Opposition and Parliamentary Representative of the Salisbury constituency, and other Honourable Members of Parliament. Your Excellency, members of the Diplomatic Corps, including ambassadors from Cuba, Venezuela and China. Permanent Secretary Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernisation and Kalinago Upliftment, other permanent secretaries here this morning. Ms. Kiefer Jackson, Chief of Staff, PSLM. Mr. Edgar Hunter, the Senior Technical Advisor, Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernisation and Kalinago Upliftment. Father Joseph Horn-Tran, priest. Other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and students. Today is a very special day, World Environment Day. Following the recent consultations, a number of participants here were at the SIDS meeting recently. The outcome of that SIDS meeting, the critical importance of the environment with regards to the sustainability of how we move forward and how we can survive. So the environment from UNDP perspective, but also from the Ministry of Environment, is central and centre to how we will ensure resilience and sustainability as we move forward. UNDP is very proud to have the history that it has with the Ministry of Environment and the work that we have been doing pre-Cyclone Maria, in recovery from Cyclone Maria, and what we have on the ground today. We have a number of initiatives working with the government in other areas as well, but the environment is one of the three critical areas that UNDP focuses on. UNDP actually has 6 signature solutions to sustainable development. One of those right at the center is the environment and a sustainable, livable environment. And this is how UNDP believes resilience is built around. So today I'm very pleased to be given a few minutes to show our solidarity with the government, the support that we provide to the government, and the continued and what we hope will be increasing relationship and partnership with the government, supporting the government and the work that it does to achieve the very ambitious goal of the first climate resilient country in the world. And this is something that many countries in the Pacific, where I've recently come from, are very envious of. What has been done so far and this ambition that is in place. So congratulations to everybody involved. I have very few other words to say, except that UNDP's support is steadfast. We have a very proud history and partnership at a technical level, but also at a political level with our partners here, including with the Ministry of Finance. We have a number of projects, other ministries, Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Environment. And together, they all pull together to provide the support that we are very proud of and we actually replicate. So lessons and activities that UNDP does in Dominica are shown as best practice by UNDP in other countries that we work in, and in particular in small island development states. So this is something we are very proud of, and you should also all be very proud of. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Justin. Of course, I am very happy that you reminded all of us of that commitment that we have to be the first climate resilient country in the world. So indeed, Justin, is beyond an ambition. It's for us a commitment and destined to be a way of life. At this point, it is my definite honor to call to the podium the Honorable Kozia Frederick, the Minister responsible for the environment and rural modernization, carrying agro upliftment, and constituency empowerment. Honorable Frederick.
Thank you very much, P.S. Blackmore. Her Excellency President of Dominica, Mrs. Sylvanie Burton and Mr. Burton, Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, with specific responsibilities for entrepreneurship and small business development, and the representative of the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, with special responsibility for common constituency empowerment, colleagues in the Cabinet, Honorable Julian Defoe, Kent Edwards, Dr. McIntyre, Dennis Charles. Happy that you could join us here today. Other members of Cabinet, other members of the Parliament, member for the Margaret constituency, and also the Salisbury constituency here with us. Your Excellencies, Ambassador to the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, the People's Republic of China, and the Republic of Cuba. Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, and other Permanent Secretaries, and former Parliamentarian and Minister Catherine Daniel, Mr. Justin Sean, Head of UNDP Dominica Office, Ms. Kiefer Jackson, PISLM, and other members of staff here, Mr. Edgar Hunter, Senior Advisor at the Ministry of Environment, other staff and members of the staff of the Ministry of Environment, the Parish Priest, Father Tran. More importantly here this morning, the students who are here with us this morning, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and also our Carnival Queen. Welcome. Friends, the World Environment Day, or WED, is the United Nations Day for encouraging a worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment. This year, we focus on land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. Our slogan is our land, our future. We are #Generation Reforestation or Restoration. Comrades, friends, brothers and sisters, soil restoration is important for a number of reasons, and it is interconnected across the government system and across communities. It is vital for, importantly, environmental sustainability, also economic stability. It is important for human well-being, and it supports our essential ecosystem services. It contributes to climate change mitigation and also ensures that there's long-term health and productivity of our lands. Friends, if we speak to food security, for instance, healthy soils really is essential for growing food, and they provide the essential nutrients, water, and support for the plants. So soil restoration helps ensure sustainable agricultural practices and productivity, which will for sure ensure food security. If I speak to biodiversity, the soils are the home to an array of organisms, from bacteria to fungi, to small mammals and insects. Healthy soil supports the biodiversity, not just above the ground, what we see, but also below the ground and beneath the oceans. And so it is important that we help to protect those ecosystems. On the international global scene, soil restoration is important for climate regulation. And so soil play a significant role in the carbon cycle. So a restored soil can sequester carbon, helping to mitigate climate change by reducing the amount of CO2 or carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Also, friends, water management is an important part of soil restoration. Healthy soils improve water infiltration and retention, and reduces the runoff that will cause flooding in the long term. The soil also filters the water. That means it improves the quality of the water and by trapping pollutants and sediments. And all of this is very essential for having a good, potable, reliable supply of water. Additionally, friends, ecosystem services are affected because healthy soil supports agriculture and forestry, which are very, very important economic sectors. This includes nutrient recycling, supporting plant growth, maintain landscape stability, and we realize that these services are very important for health of both the natural and man-made ecosystems. Friends, if we speak to economic development, soil restoration can lead to increased crop yields and resilience, reducing the need for costly inputs like fertilizers and pesticides, and thus will help to enhance the farmers' livelihoods. The restoration of soil across our wonderful space will also help with resilience to all of the environmental stresses that we face from time to time. Healthy soils can better withstand and recover from environmental stresses such as droughts, floods, and pests. This resilience is crucial for maintaining ecosystems and the services in face of climate change. And so, friends, why are we really here in Kulibishri? I'm happy to be here in Kulibishri 1 because Kulibishri and the river over there and the Batali beaches is a Karinago space. It is a Karinago space, so I'm happy to be here. One of the wonderful coastal fishing villages that happen to be part of my ancestry. But I'm really happy to be here because the work we do at the Ministry of Environment and the work we do in partnership with PISLM and the UNDP, it's not a job or a task for only the Ministry of Environment. It's a task that is all-embracing. And like you realize, the soil restoration in that case really affects everyone across the board. And so we're here because it is important that we all play our part to ensure that we keep our island pristine and green. We speak to the first climate resilient country. We speak to the nature island, but we have a part to play in all of this. It is very clear to me as a member of cabinet that there is the political will. It is evident around us that the financial resources have been made available. We have built back better roads. We are building back better homes. We are ensuring our financial structures are resilient. But what is important for us at the cabinet level and as the government is the part that every citizen has to play, to be part and parcel of a movement to ensure that the land gifted to us by the Karinago ancestors, the Negmao, and the great spirits will remain with us for a long time. Because I suspect generations to come may blame us if we do not play our part to ensure that the integrity of this land stays intact. So it is clear to us with the scientific research that our beautiful island has a massive array of undisturbed vegetation, and it is one of the islands in the West Antilles, or what I would rather call the Karinago Island civilization, that has the most forested areas. More than 2/3 of our island is still covered with forest. And so nature is doing its part, but we have to play our part as well. Now, within the forests of Dominica, for instance, we have a great biodiversity. Our habitats encompasses within the island more than 300 square miles that has risen up with rich flora and fauna. There are well over 20% of Dominica's terrestrial area is legally protected by law as forest reserves. So the government is playing its part. But we're also mindful that almost 30% of that 80% of coverage are private lands. And so private landowners must also play their part in ensuring that we keep this intact. And so it appears to me, as the Minister for Environment, that Dominica, or I rather say Waiti Kubuli, is a hot spot for biodiversity. And so I'm so happy to see the Minister of Tourism here, because this is a product we have to offer the world. The unique product of nature, not just about 365 rivers, not just about the most hospitable people, but just the idea of being in a space that you feel happy. You can breathe in fresh air, you can drink fresh water, and you can be at peace with nature. And so all of that is incumbent on us as citizens. And I'm so happy that the students are here today. The students who are here because you are the future of our space. And I suspect in 10 to 15 years, a student from that school, Kulibishri, may be standing here making the speech as the Minister of Environment, maybe the Speaker or the Minister of Finance. So I'm really, really happy that you're here, because we are building this little piece, and these blocks, we expect you students to build on it as you go forward. And so it is timely for us during the World Environment Day to take actions. But I must say also, the action cannot just be resident in a day like this. Every day should be Environment Day. Every day should be a day where we plant trees. Every day should be a day where we protect nature. We ensure that we don't toss garbage out of a moving vehicle. We ensure that we don't cut down a tree because we want to throw in a piece of concrete. We want to ensure that we do this because our space has been granted to us, because many died, shed blood for that space. And so our ancestors would be very happy to know that we are adding a part to this. Now, if you're aware, Kulibishri here was totally devastated. It's a coastal village, that's why it was a Kairago settlement. The sea right here, access to a river, fresh water, lands at the back for forested areas for harvesting gourmet trees. So it was an easy area to become a settlement. But the ravages of nature, which we have no control over, can deal us a bad hand sometimes. And that bad hand in 2017 is something that we could not prevent. But it's something that we can mitigate against by adding some value to what we do in this activity. I'm happy to be here in Kulibishri because I feel empowered by the students who are here and by the wonderful folks from the NEP who tidied up this entire area, who are doing this wonderful management of our highways all the way from Jimit to Portsmouth. And sometimes, comrades, I feel that we do not celebrate the simple things. We take it for granted that it will be cleaned and it is beautiful, but it is hard work. And it's hard work coming from proper strategies implemented by the government of Dominica. It's not by chance. We're not doing it by chance. It's not a gut feeling. It's not a vibe we feel. It's based on strategy, because after Hurricane Maria, we developed a strategy, a resilient strategy. And from it, we developed a plan. The plan speaks to a number of things: built infrastructure, human capacity, financial structures. And it is very clear, as I've said before, that the government has made it its priority to ensure that the relevant policies are put in place. So policies have to come into action. And that's why every one of us here today have a task to play. I think you represent your communities, your constituents, your countries, your schools, and I would like to take back the message that every one of us is important in this effort. The departments within the ministry I happen to lead at this time, the Solid Waste Management Corporation, the NEP, the EDA project, funded by the GEF, GCF, the Constituency Empowerment Department. All of those units are so important. And so we need to celebrate the work that these wonderful folks do. I lean heavily, I must say for the record, that I lean heavily on the expertise from those folks. I happen to be a policymaker, a minister, but I'm minded that there are others who know much more than me in their specific fields of study. And I have to celebrate that and to give them the encouragement to do more. We have been planting trees within our space for a long time. And the first today is the former Minister of Environment, His Honorable Speaker of the House. And post Hurricane Maria, I believe it was 2018, he can correct me, he proclaimed that we would plant 1 million trees as part of the response to Hurricane Maria. And to date, I want to tell the former minister that we have planted 299,000 trees. So I have one more to plant, because the one I planted, I don't think it caught on. Otherwise, it would have been 300,000. So we have planted 300,000 trees to date, and we are doing much more. And I also want to encourage people here today, and those who can hear me over the internet, on social media, that as we speak, you can plant a tree. And send WhatsApp me, and tell me the number of trees you planted. It's a time that we plant trees for ourselves around our homes. And so it is a mission that we have started with clear guidance from the Prime Minister, who himself is an avid farmer and a lover of trees. And I want to encourage you across the communities of our island to play a part, to plant a tree, to ensure we add value to what we know as the Nature Island. So by participating here today, I am very, very happy to know that more than 100 of us who are here. There will be 100 more trees, so there will be 300,100 trees or more that will be planted across the region. And so, in conclusion, I wish to say that we celebrate this day as World Environment Day, but the work has to continue moving forward, and it's a time that we have as citizens of this wonderful space to continue to add value to what we know as Nature Isle, to what we know as Waitikubuli, because if we do not play our part, we will continue to have the challenges of deforestation. There will be continued pollution of our environment. There will be the loss of biodiversity, and at the end, we may be a much more poor country for it. So it's our time to contribute to a sustainable Dominica, especially seeing we have the mandate to become the first climate resilient country. So brothers and sisters, I'm very happy that you could join us. And do not leave after this formal ceremony. You have to stay back and plant your tree. Do not leave. And because you are in value to this wonderful space. And I'll say it again, a space that was handed to us by the great Kalinago warriors, the legendary Negmawans, and the future at the back who will come in and continue this small work that we started in our time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Minister. On this note, I want to recognize the spoken word by Ms. Amika Cognet, a distinguished poet who happened to be also a member of staff of the Ministry of Environment. Let's welcome her to the podium.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. And as we have all heard, the theme for this year's World Environment Day is land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience, a rallying call for protection and revival of ecosystems all around the world, which is critical to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. But have you ever thought of what our Earth would be telling us if it could speak? Like, have you really thought about it and what it would say? In this poetry piece, I implore you to listen to what it might sound like if Mother Earth could speak to us in words. A Battle with Mother Earth, written by Rian O'Brien, Yana Ducre, and Amika Cognat. Dear Mother Earth, you are not alone. I am with you. We are all in this together. Let us reclaim our Mother Earth. Mother Earth, oh how I hate the way, you see, the way you ripped my home away, your filthy hands as dragon's paws, shredding that which made me bewitching. Somehow death strangely feels inevitable to my planet, like a God-forsaken destiny, bound by its irascibility. Oh, how I hate the way your empty eyes spoke no lies about the truth. The truth is, you're slowly announcing my death. All hail the cold-blooded killer whose hands drip with blood of my tears, he who has no remorse for the wrath doomed upon my back. You. Yet we say, dear Mother Earth, you are not alone. I am with you. We are all in this together. Let us reclaim our Mother Earth. You see, all I wanted was the freedom to run my course, to bloom in my wholeness, so you could have some place you can call home. My ignorance towards your betrayal birthed the downfall of me, because greed was never too far from your vocabulary. I welcomed you, opened my temple, and said, make yourself feel comfortable. I bloomed mercilessly. Bountiful rivers flowed into clean crevices. Trees grew, unfailingly saying hi to the smiley sky. Air smelled as fresh as a cool summer mid-air in July. You criminal, how dare you, stealing and corrupting my resources, vomiting your intoxicating gases, suffocating me. I'm gasping to breathe, yet your naivety makes you blind. Wasn't my beauty enough for you? Wasn't my body enough for your hands? I guess not. My heart had to bear the consequences of your negligence. Fires burning, volcanoes erupting, rivers flooding, everything's exploding, and you insist on leaving me bruised. Each scar tells a story of how I have been timelessly taken for granted. For fossil fuels, I have been used. For advancement of technology, I have been abused. But you say, dear Mother Earth, you are not alone. I am with you. We are all in this together. Let us reclaim our Mother Earth. But I no longer see the value I once flaunted. What's the reason for my deforestation? Why do you insist on seeing me naked, draining me into drought? No remorse, no second thoughts. You are aware of the woes you claim not to see. Tell them how you continuously whip me mercilessly. Tell them, bound by impending doom, how can we be free? What if we could both own our liberty? You destroyed our environment, but I'm asking if we are so free as people that we do what we want whenever we want. There should be no surprise that Mother Earth is putting us out like a tenant. You see, dear Mother Earth, you are not alone. I am with you. We are all in this together. So let us reclaim Mother Earth. What are you doing to Mother? We act like as if we are on the attack. We are taking and not giving back. Our hands are forever open to receive but never to give. Eating all she bears, we continue stripping her bare. No second thoughts, no care. All I've heard you say is me, mine, and ours. Never, never about Mother. You say you love her, but you continue to kill her coral. And I realize that your love was only conditional. You destroy the most beautiful parts of Mother. Yet you get angry when she boils with envy and stirs her wrath of tyranny, when she strips us of food, when she strips us of water, when she strips us of home and land. And you still get angry, yet you forgot that you took all these things from me. So dear Mother Earth, you are not alone. I am with you. We are all in this together. Let us reclaim Mother Earth. Let us reclaim Mother Earth. Let all of us reclaim Mother Earth. And as one of my favorite quotes says, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. And according to Lucy Lacombe, he who plants a tree plants a hope. Therefore, as we plant these trees today, let us all be the hope of our sweet country, Dominica. Let us continue to take care of our pristine natural assets, because if you cut a tree, you kill a life. If you save a tree, you save a life. And if you plant a tree, you plant a life. And though the best time to plant a tree would have been 20 years ago, the second best time to plant a tree is now. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Cognet. And on this note, I wish to call to the podium Honorable Darren Pinard, who is representing the Honorable Prime Minister, to do the address. Honorable Pinard.
Your Excellency, Ms. Sylvanie Burton, and their spouse, the Honorable Dr. Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Cozy Frederick, the Minister for the Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Honorable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization and the Kalinago Upliftment, with specific responsibilities for constituency empowerment. The honorable members of cabinet, we have with us Dr. Irvin McIntyre, Ms. Denise C. Pemberton, we have Jolan Defoe, and the Honorable Kent Edwards. The Honorable Jess McCall, the Leader of the Opposition, other members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, other Permanent Secretaries, special recognition to my personal Permanent Secretary, Ms. Gloria Joseph. We have Justin Sean, the head of the UNDP Dominica office, Ms. Kiefer Jackson, Chief of Staff of the PISLM, Mr. Edgar Hunter, the Senior Technical Advisor in the Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Father Joseph Hong, the Parish Priest. We have a special welcome to the Corleo and the Dublin Primary Schools and our young members from the Flamboyant Cultural Group. We have our former PAL rep with us, Miss Lady Catherine Daniel from the Corleo constituency. Our NEP beautification crew, and Miss Annika Cognet for her wonderful presentation this morning of her spoken words. Good morning to all. I want to thank you for inviting me to this meaningful ceremony this morning. It is my honor to join you today as we celebrate World Environment Day 2024. We gather here to reflect on the importance of protecting our natural environment, to renew our commitment to restoring it, and to take concrete action towards its sustainability. World Environment Day has grown into a global platform for raising awareness and driving action on critical environmental issues, and Dominica is pleased to play its part in increasing understanding of the threats to our environment and how we can each play a role in its preservation. Today is a reminder of the profound connection between humanity and the natural world, and a call to each of us to recognize our collective responsibility to safeguard the earth for future generations. Now, this year, under the theme Land Restoration, Desertification and Drought Resilience, we mark the 30th anniversary of the UN Convention to combat this desertification. Now, desertification is defined as the land degradation in arid, semi-arid and dry subhumid areas which results in various factors including climate variations and human activities. We in the western and in particular the northwestern part of the country know this phenomenon all too well. It is therefore very apt that we are observing this day here in Kolibistri. Now, Kolibistri has experienced the brunt of Maria in the most dramatic way. In this one generation, we have seen the transformation of our landscapes as it suffers from the impact of climate change. Stronger storm winds and extended dry seasons have destroyed much of our larger trees and loosened and weakened our topsoils. This has led to significant soil erosion and its water absorption and retention capacity. We are therefore experiencing much stronger flash floods that cause significant damage to our infrastructure and to personal property. Kolibistri and Korle-I-Hoop knows this all too well. We firsthand experienced the devastating floods of waters over the past few years, such as during the passage of Tropical Storm Erika and Hurricane Maria. Now, this is why, as a government, we are leading the charge on building resilience and combating climate change. I wish to profoundly thank the Korle-I-Hoop NEP for embarking on a drive to plant thousands of trees along the highway, an effort that endeavors to cover the entire West Coast with our tree planting project. So far, hundreds of trees have already been planted, and we expect many hundreds more will be planted over the coming years. Now, these trees will grow roots that will help hold the soil together and reduce erosion and soil degradation, as well as provide fruits that we might all enjoy, enhance the natural beauty of the coastline, improve our tourism products, and provide much needed flowers for our honeybees. I, for one, am eagerly anticipating the day when I can eat my first fruit from this effort. Now, our NEP team is small, but it is demonstrating that we can each do very big things when we are committed. And this should therefore inspire each of us to do our part to help with the restoration and resilient efforts and whatever else is required to help build our country. In Dominica, we are frequent witnesses to the impacts of the environmental degradation and natural disasters. The passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017 left deep scars on our country, and we have experienced the very real dangers of climate change, deforestation, and biodiversity loss. In Maria, we saw losses in excess of 90% on our housing stock. This is why in only a matter of days following Maria, our Honorable Dr. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit went to the UN and announced that Dominica would become the first climate resilient country in the world. To all of us that know of the state that the country was in at the time, we understand how bold and brazen a statement that was at the time. This is before resilience was a common household name both in Dominica and the rest of the world. And true to his word, our Prime Minister has taken us on this journey of resilience that now has Dominica recognized as the foremost world expert on resilience and climate change matters. Nowhere in the world can there be a meaningful discussion on the efforts and strategies to combat climate change without Dominica being either featured or exemplified. Ms. Jackson just confirmed as much when stating that the PISLM takes inspiration from Dominica in carrying out its mandate. Now, I for one take great pride in being a citizen of this small country that leads the world on matters of resilience, climate change, and sustainable development. And I employ all of you here this morning to stand tall and be proud of our country's leadership, and in particular our Prime Minister for leading us in this direction and to this position of esteem. Resilience is factored into everything we do as a government and a country. It is ingrained in how we build our houses, how we build our roads, our infrastructure. It is factored into how we do agriculture and manage our waters and all aspects of the blue economy, how we develop tourism. It is also deeply embedded in how we manage our finances. Our capital projects are funded with as little or no debt as possible. We are presently embarked on an unprecedented development of our capital structure to include the construction of the international airport, the development of geothermal energy, the construction of the marina and our cable car, as well as the extensive road development and enhancements taking place across the country. And all of these are significantly or wholly funded by CBI program, meaning that zero or very little debt is used in the construction of these major capital projects. Now, this is resilient financing that ensures that our children and future generations are not left with an insurmountable debt burden as a result of these transformative projects. As we continue along this journey, it is essential that we use this platform to influence positive environmental thinking. We must continue to lead on this effort that opens up diverse common concerns and interests across the spectrum of society and industry. To achieve this, we must accept that environmental best practices are everyone's business. Every citizen and institution in this country must take personal responsibility for combating the impact of climate change and building resilience. The Dominica Solid Waste Program, Clean a Mile, highlights the spirit of collective action. They are encouraging the public, corporate entities and NGOs to donate their time and their resources to cleaning up our environment, allowing us to take significant steps towards a cleaner and healthier Dominica. Let us embrace the spirit of World Environment Day, not just today, but every day. Let us commit to restoring our land and protecting our natural resources. By doing so, we ensure that future generations have a living space that is free from pollution and rich in biodiversity. I am particularly pleased that the World Environment Day, on this World Environment Day, we take decisive actions and provide solutions to the environmental challenges we face. This government is all about fostering a sense of stewardship and responsibility in every individual, in every community and organization towards our country's development. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Ministry of the Environment, Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment for organizing this event this morning. I also thank each of you for your presence and your dedication and participation on this day. Together we can make a difference. Together we can maintain our land, be resilient and secure a sustainable future for Dominica. Now, I look forward to our tree planting activity this morning. Let this act symbolize our collective commitment to a greener and a more resilient Dominica. Thank you all.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Pinard. I now call to the floor Miss Anthony to do the honor on behalf of handing over audit plans to Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica. I now call on Mr. Burton to also get his audit plan. I now call Honorable Darren Lloyd to come to the floor to collect on behalf, first of all, the Honorable Prime Minister, and to remain in his position to pick up the one for Mrs. Honorable, not Lloyd, sorry, but Honorable Pinard. And to also remain at the fore, Honorable Pinard, to pick up or to collect the wand for Mrs. Carey. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Anthony. I call to the podium Mr. Edgar Hunter to bestow upon all our deserving partners our gratitude for their support, their commitment, and contribution for making today possible. Mr. Hunter.
Your Excellency Silvani Burton, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mr. Burton. Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor, Public Sector Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, with specific responsibilities for entrepreneurship and small business development, and representative of the Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker of the House of Assembly. Honorable Kozia Frederick, Minister for the Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment. Honorable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry for Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment, with specific responsibilities for constituency empowerment. Other honorable members of Cabinet, Honorable Jesma Victor Paul, Leader of the Opposition and Parliamentary Representative for the Salisbury constituency. Other honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment and Constituency Empowerment. Other Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Justin Schoen, Head of UNDP, Dominica Office, Ms. Kaifa Jackson, Chief of Staff, PSLM, Father Joseph Hong Chan, Parish Priest, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first give thanks and praises to the Almighty for making this occasion a resounding success. Heartfelt thanks to Her Excellency Ms. Silvani Burton and Mr. Burton for gracing us with their presence and for agreeing to play an active part in the tree planting ceremony. Special thanks to Honorable Darren Pinard, Minister of State with special responsibility for entrepreneurship and small business development, and Parliamentary Representative for the Colio constituency, who is representing the Prime Minister, who, not due to other pressing matters, would have been with us today. For your profound thought and provoking feature address, we thank you. To the Honorable Kozia Frederick, our leader, and Minister of Environment, thanks for delivering a well-articulated, crafted, and pointed speech. I pray that your conversations on the need to deepen our environmental consciousness will bear tremendous fruits. Honorable Darren Lloyd, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, with specific responsibility for constituency empowerment, you are an inspiration for other young people. Your presentation today was well received. To the Leader of Opposition and Parliamentary Representative for the Salisbury constituency, Honorable Jesma Paul, thanks a million for providing such a wonderful welcome. Young people would say the welcome was welcoming. Thank you. Thank you, P.S. Blackmore, for being an excellent host today, but also for ensuring that in everything we do, we aim for excellence. PSLM and UNDP, your presence here and solidarity messages speaks volume of the collaboration between your IGO and the government of Dominica in helping Dominica along its journey to become the first climate resilient nation of the world. We also wish to thank the Honorable Speaker of the House, Mr. Joseph Isaac, Honorable Members of Cabinet, other Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Permanent Secretaries, and other distinguished guests for accepting our invitation to the DSC Environment Club, executive members of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School Environment Club, students and staff from Cooley District, Jubla, Salisbury, and St. Joseph Primary School. We are very grateful for your presence. I also thank members of the media for evincing us their interest in covering our events. Without sponsorship, this event would not be possible. Therefore, we wish to raise our cap to the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Office of the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Local Government Division, PISLM, UNDP, the West Coast Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Adden Sons, the Dominica Port Authority, and DPEX for contributing so meaningfully in making this activity the spectacle it has become. Without entertainment, there is no seasoning or spice to any event. And today, we'd really like to thank our entertainers, Mr. Pius John Baptist, Miss Amika Cognet, and our dancers from the Jubla Primary School, the flamboyant dancers. Thanks a million. Last but not least, special thanks must be extended to all the members of staff from the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment, and Constituency Empowerment, who work collaboratively to ensure the success of today's activity. Let me end with a quote by Winston Churchill. Solidarity trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. I thank you.
Mr. Hunter, they shall grow indeed. Not if they grow, they shall grow. Thank you very much for your comforting remarks. I also really want to identify all those who play a critical role in there. We cannot forget the Caldwell Primary School, nor can we forget the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, the Dominica State College Environment Club. I say thank you to you, and I must single out the Division of Forestry staff for all the site preparation work and for all the logistics. We see events and we tend to believe just setting up a few little tents and it's all well and good. But I really want to commend the staff headed by Ms. Norma Anthony, the forest officers, for really doing us proud this morning and ensuring the site is ready. And we'll so realize, Ms. Anthony, when we get the consent of Her Excellency, that her trip here was indeed a memorable one. I also want to say to all of us here, we're going to have the tree planting ceremony now. I ask all of you to remain in your position while we allow the protocol officers and the forestry staff to escort, firstly, Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, the President of Dominica, accompanied by the dignitaries at the front, and to go to the position, and then we'll follow on. So I now ask us to allow accommodation of Her Excellency and the dignitaries.
And
We
we
also have
just saw
snacks and
there the
refreshments, so
official
don't worry,
ceremony,
it
the
will be
official opening
soon
ceremony
taken care
of
of.
the let's see, of World Environment Day. So we thank all of our listeners via our various frequencies, as well as the viewers and listeners on Facebook Live, for joining us here at the beautiful coastal community of Cooley District. And right now we see the officials, so Her Excellency, the President of Dominica, Sylvanie Burton, accompanied by her spouse, Mr. Burton, making their way across to the actual planting area where the trees in commemoration of World will be planted. She She is also accompanied by the members of the diplomatic corps, and they as well will be planting trees along the coastal shore of Coolibri. So again, those of you with us, thank you for this. We continue now as we witness the actual tree planting. So Her Excellency the President of Dominica, Sylvanie Burton, will be planting a tree along the beachfront. So she's being assisted by a member of the Ministry of Environment, of the Environmental Ministry. And as we view now, she takes the coconut plant in hand and uses the shovel to shovel in the sand to plant the first tree in this tree planting session here at the Coolibri beachfront. So again, we just had the official opening of World Environment Day Dominica, and under the theme desertification and drought resilience. So congratulations to Mrs. Burton, or Her Excellency Mrs. Burton, on her the first tree being planted. She's now watering that tree. And we see the onlookers, and amidst the onlookers, we see members of the Chinese diplomatic corps. We see the Cuban ambassador to Dominica. We see the Venezuelan ambassador to Dominica. Also, members of parliament, cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, and also her husband, Mr. William Burton. And it's a beautiful day here at Coolibri, right on the beachfront. There are also members of the solid waste management team. And next to plant the tree, let's see who is our next farmer this morning. I believe that's going to be the Speaker of the House of Assembly, if I'm not mistaken, or is it the Honorable Darren Pinard? Okay, so it's going to be Honorable Darren Pinard planting a coconut tree along the Coolibri beach. It's pointed out by Peter Aline. So again, if you're just joining us, live broadcast of the World Environment Day opening ceremony, and we proceeded now from the opening ceremony to the actual tree planting. So again, if you want to make an impact in your community, we encourage you, plant a tree or a few trees. And we highlighted some activities that one can embark on in that could be. And the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation is embarking on a drive dubbed. Hopefully we'll be able to word with Rhoda St. John, who is the Public Relations Officer for the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation. But in the meantime, Darren Pinard has just planted his tree, coconut tree, along the beachfront. And we are here live in Coolibri. So one can take the initiative in their various communities. We encourage the 4-H club, the various schools around Ireland, as well as the environment clubs of the various schools, to take the initiative and plant a tree. One plant a tree in the forest because we suffered Dominica, our forest suffered significant damage post Hurricane Maria, and right now through the efforts of the Forestry Wildlife and Parks Division as well as the Ministry of the Environment, forests have almost returned to normalcy. So again, you're encouraged to plant the tree and help develop your environment. But that takes us to the end of our broadcast here with you today. I'm Vanessa Bruno on behalf of my camera technical person, Yutlan Bruno. We thank you for joining us and we take you back to Master Control. Have an awesome day. Happy World Environment Day.